Well, since last year I made a Ben 10 top 10 video, might as well do it again. After all, there's been like absolutely nothing in the Ben 10 franchise since the reboot ended, and the fandom is just begging for any content. Like, seriously, the fandom is just completely cannibalizing itself, and now the only content being made is for the edgy tricks and the poor tricks, and I am very disappointed in you all. But let's go back to the topic I did a while back, and go into the dumbest episodes of Ben 10. Now, I want to clarify again, bad does not equal dumb. Quality and being kinda stupid aren't the same thing. Hell, a lot of dumb episodes of the franchise are great, and are some of the biggest fan favorites. It's what makes the series fun. It's not afraid to be wild and goofy, and it got a lot of kids into it. And it's funny to say that with Alien Force. Now in 2008, the Ben 10 franchise wanted to grow up a lot more and tell a more serious story. Thus, after season 4 of the show, we soon got a time skip 5 years in the future with a teenage Ben putting back on the Omnitrix after Grandpa Mask goes missing following a secret massive alien invasion of Earth. Teamed up also with an aged Gwen and Kevin 11 returning now as an ally, in a much more serious, almost drama-like series. And yeah, it definitely was. And to me, it told the best storyline in the entire series, with great storytelling, atmosphere, and darkness. Like literal darkness. You can barely see anything in the first few episodes. What the hell is this? But even though it is practically the most objectively serious show in the franchise, that doesn't mean it didn't have a ton of stupid episodes. Now, a lot of this is by season 3, where if you don't know, seasons 1 and 2 were one huge story arc, but CN didn't like the lower ratings it had compared to Classic, probably because its darker nature and major change to the status quo took a lot of viewers out, which didn't include me back in the day. So they forced the staff to drop their original plans and redo the whole season with a more classic feel, and a lot of other stuff that seriously hurt it, making a much less quality and more contrived season with a lot of problems. But hey, if it didn't happen, then I probably couldn't make this list. Again, not every episode on this list is bad. There's some really fun ones in here. But with this series, more often than not, dumb does mean bad. So let's get into the dumbest episodes of Ben 10 Alien Force. Number 10, X equals Ben plus 2. You know an episode's gonna be good when the title is literally a math equation. Now, this is a weird one, as it's actually a really important episode as a season 1 finale and the introduction of Alien X, one of the most iconic aliens in the series. However, the plot doesn't work too well. I kinda think Alien X is a mistake, honestly. Alien X is a literal god able to change reality with ease, but only the 3 voices in their head come to a decision. The voice of compassion, the voice of apathy, and the voice of reason. Now, it's actually a really interesting way to handle an omnipotent power. But it's ruined that Bellicus and Serena just suck at deliberating and will just refuse to accept any request whatsoever.
That you let me use the Omnitrix.
Is there a second? Motion defeated. Good vote.
It feels less like Ben needs to be the voice of reason, than that these two are absolutely insufferable, so there's probably no way to actually debate. It's not like Ben doesn't have the ability to deliberate and come to the decision to use this form. It's more that Bellicus and Serena are so idiotic and obnoxious they refuse to actually do anything. And because of this, Ben refused to use Alien X throughout all of Alien Force and only once briefly in Ultimate Alien, where again, Bellicus and Serena refused to do anything. So, what was the point? Why bother making this alien if you're not gonna do anything with them? I get that having an omnipotent alien makes it so that any conflict can't be an issue, but at least do something with it.
How can you both be so useless?
We're the most powerful being in the universe.
Then do something! Alien X's might as well not exist through most of the show, and completely wasted a slot when they shouldn't even have bothered if they can actually do anything with it. It's so stupid and kind of infuriating, and if anything, this episode shows how bad the execution is. Ben doesn't refuse total power for any good reason, just that the other two are completely insufferable and doesn't want to deal with them. Alien X feels like the writers wanted to give Ben like an ultimate potential, but never actually do or commit to it, just being like, yeah, Ben could be all powerful, but he's not gonna. I really hate this, and thank God Omniverse at least made them actually do something noteworthy and practically redeem this whole thing by actually doing cosmic level stuff, even if he now is at the Crimson Chin. It's not even like the rest of the episode is great with the Incursion Empire threatening to blow up Earth and kill everyone, but it's kind of treated almost like a joke and not as something serious, as Ben literally can't get out of being Alien X till Bellicus and Serena stop being obnoxious. Also, 7-7 being the brother of 6-6 is stupid. That's just true and they shouldn't have bothered. It's not like it's a terrible episode, but it's definitely bogged down by so much dumb moments and dumb decisions that it kind of ruins it as a finale. Gets the ironic number 10 spot on this list.
Happy?
No! Just let me out of here. I got 9 other guys who can do it better.
Number 9, Busy Box. Yeah, I don't like this episode, like at all, but this isn't the worst list, it's the dumbest list. So the trio find a mysterious box that's on a whole other power level, and all it does is pretty much just mimic the forms and actions of things it sees. And like, this is the big level 20 technology the Raptor, greater than the Omnitrix? Is there no other robot in the galaxy that can do the exact same thing and better? I think the Bioids later in the series were just as, if not even more capable. I don't get why this thing is a big deal. This is a mimicking robot that's really powerful. So they spend virtually the whole episode just trying to find out what to do with this thing and what it even is. Until the Vita brothers show up again to take it and clarify its analogy and destructor, capable of immense destruction. Really, this thing? Again, is there no other robot that can do the exact same thing? Didn't we do the giant regenerating evil robot thing in the first season? It's just fighting over a vague thingy with barely explained abilities or origin, until they surprisingly succeed and make off with it, only to immediately come back now that it has learned crimes and they can't control it. And the thing now becomes a huge, massive threat. I don't know, what's the plot structure here? This just feels like a bunch of and then this happened that's barely string along. Focus around a thingy that, again, barely has an explanation. It's now evil halfway through the episode, just deal with it. Also, the Vitols die here for the first time until they later say they can just be endlessly cloned, so they keep killing them off for the rest of the run. The only thing kind of interesting is the fusion design of the Destructor, but then Ben turns into Lodestar. Oh my god, I hate Lodestar so much. I hate his voice, I hate his appearance, I hate how literally every fight scene he has is literally just him pointing and winning. How do people like this guy? Any other alien would give a much more interesting fight than anything he's done. Well, I'll give him some credit. He doesn't immediately stand, point, and win, but instead starts throwing other people's cars at him. I can't believe throwing cars is something that's seriously breaking the mold with this guy, but I'll take it. Until they ran out of ideas again, he stands, points, and wins. I'm on the edge of my freaking seat.
I'm going to kill you! I'm pointing my wand as hard as I can!
How does this extra-dimensional technology coincidentally have the same atomic structure as magnetic metal so that they can have a completely unearned victory? But to really make it dumb, the presumably Nalgian, I guess, comes to them with an honestly pretty cool design, saying that the whole time, the Destructor was just a 26-dimensional children's toy they dropped. Ugh, really, show? Yeah, I don't like this episode at all. The plot is dumb, the Destructor's dumb, and it gave Lodestar another unearned victory. I hate it.
One of which is of obviously inferior workmanship and quality.
I think he means you.
Number 8, Primus. This is one of the most hated episodes of the season, and I don't really mind it, surprisingly. People hate the idea of Primus, but I'm actually for it. I like the idea that Azimuth made an artificial planet, and it's really cool to see, and that this is how he stores the active DNA samples for every species in the galaxy. Even the biopsists, which now take the DNA samples, I find cool. As much as I like Mayax, there's no way she got millions of samples manually. I mean, it's not like Ben 10 doesn't retcon itself all the freaking time, and even worse later. But I guess people's main issue, again, comes from the random reveal of Primus' existence, but also the Omnitrix can detach itself with ease, but again, I don't exactly care much for it. And admittedly, Villigax legitimately not knowing how to use the Omnitrix and asking Ben to use it is pretty freaking stupid, yet there is technically an explanation.
Cracking the control combination is child's play for a master of the Omnitrix.
Tell me how to activate the Omnitrix. You'll make the Omnitrix work for me?
Though just taking the Omnitrix off of Goop is very idiotic, like come on. Though admittedly, the one like true ass pull is Villigax suddenly becoming huge falling in the code on stream. Like that's just stupid and forces a climax. I guess the episode's execution is just really underwhelming for what should be like one of the biggest episodes of the season. It has enough dumb parts to make it this high, but again, personally, I don't get the hate. Oh my god, wait, Lodestar is in it? Never mind, I hate it.
Azimuth, everything's going to be okay.
Did you just there me?
Number 7, Single-Handed. This one's at least more dumb fun, but it's a pretty dumb concept.
It's not funny, Kevin.
Where an alien bounty hunter, Sunder, tries to get the Omnitrix by literally severing it between dimensions, which teleports Ben to the null void, as his dismembered hand with the Omnitrix is in the real world. Now, that would be dumb enough, but the thing that gets there is that somehow Ben's hand is able to move and react entirely independent of Ben himself. I have no idea how the hell this is even a thing, unless this implies that the Omnitrix itself is sapient enough to do this and take control of Ben's hand through it. Which, like, wow, that's a lot to believe. But the episode does a lot with it, like Ben still being able to transform between dimensions if the Omnitrix is activated by someone else, which has cool moments where Ben is vulnerable in the void and needs to hope that his hand will transform in to save him. It even has Julie play a pivotal plot role. There's some dumbass romance drama. I love this so much. Please give her more relay screen time that isn't on that. And the rest of the trio had to find a way to bring Ben back completed, as they also swap places and have some cool action scenes. Again, it's not a bad episode. It's pretty fun. There's some great moments, like this joke is freaking amazing.
Keep away from the big ugly guy. She meant the other one.
It's just its premise and that whole Ben's hand moving by itself like it's Thing from the Addams Family that puts it on this list. It's dumb, but it's enjoyable. Also, who the hell drew this face and why?
I'm the one who beat the bad guy. Single-handed.
Number 6. In Charm's Way. Now this episode is also pretty neat. It's Charmcaster's return to the franchise since Classic, and it's great to see her back. Granted in a much more generic design, where she wants revenge on Gwen and hypnotizes Kevin to depower her. The episode really isn't dumb or bad. It's just one part that is one of the dumbest moments in the entire franchise. In the climax, Charmcaster makes a spell which literally brings the Mr. Smoothie mascot to life to fight the heroes. And it's like, what? Who the hell thought of this? Why did she do that? How does this work? They have to literally fight a giant cartoon smoothie man. What? It's not even the only time, as it's literally the first boss of one of the later games of the show. What the hell? And Ben uses Upchuck to literally slurp the life out of him. I love that there's this huge magic fight going on in the background as Ben literally is fighting a giant smoothie man and no one acknowledges it. I have so many questions. Does he have an actual biology? Is the smoothie like his internal organs or life energy? Does Ben feel nothing eating his favorite food mascot alive? Listen to him. He's afraid. He knows death is coming and he fears it.
Stop, please! I'm half empty!
He's terrified of his mortality and is pleading for mercy. And then after he's done, he doesn't disappear when Charmcaster is defeated. His corpse is still there. I don't think they ever did anything with it. Did they leave it here for the employees to deal with in the morning? Bro, can you imagine you come to work and you have to bury the 15-foot corpse of Ronald McDonald before the morning patrons come? This scene is so freaking stupid and ridiculous that it single-handedly put this episode nearly halfway through this list. I'm still not over it. Okay, but I also need to talk that Charmcaster's disguise form that Kevin falls in love with looks exactly like Ben's mom. Is there something going on there?
So, what do you guys want to do today? Hang out with your mom?
Number 5. Unearthed. Yeah, Season 2, you're not getting away. I do not like this episode. I find it the most pointless episode of the actual story arc seasons. So the DNA aliens mine up and unleash this really generic big green monster that steals their stuff, as the trio find out and are concerned that they're another threat and start attacking it. Only to then think it's an actual baby, so they were beating up an infant the whole time. That's messed up. And now that they take care of it to find out they're connected to the DNA aliens. And it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we dedicating an episode to babysitting this big dumb green thing? Who asked for this? Who wanted this? Is this really the best plot you can come up with? Only to then find their parents look exactly the same, and then they can leave. This is the most pointless episode in the entire story arc, and frankly, just did not need to exist. Why did they make this? Why is this near the end of arguably the best done story arc in the franchise? This episode is just stupid and has no point or impact. It's not even good. Literally the only thing this applies is that the dad theorizing that the DNA aliens might be mining this much quartz to make a teleporter grid, but that's literally it. It's a dumb episode that doesn't have the right to exist. Moving on. Number 4. Con of Wrath. Okay, this is a prime example of dumb does not equal bad. This episode is literally one of the most fan favorites of the entire series. It introduces Wrath, who is also one of the fan favorites. They're just a species of giant, anthropomorphic, ultra buff, hyper aggressive tiger aliens who say literally everything like an aggressive professional wrestler. And it's just as amazing and stupid as it sounds. The trio get tasked to take the Prince of the Lewodans to Jarrett the Pantherfate's king as a peace offering, as Ben stuck his Wrath for the entire thing. And Wrath completely steals the show. There's barely even a plot. They just go to random locations and meet with random enemies who want to stop them. And it only just exists so that Wrath can yell at them and beat the hell out of them. And it's just as glorious as it sounds. This episode is so freaking entertaining, even if all of it is so freaking stupid. Like they get captured by an incursion war vessel just for Wrath to somehow get there without a space chute, beat up every soldier there, just to yell at the commander to knock it the hell off or he'll beat him up too as he agrees. It's so glorious. This is how you make a dumb fun episode. John DiMaggio completely steals the show here with his performance, and his role as Wrath might be one of his greatest performances he's done. Every scene is just spectacular.
Okay, Incursion Commander Saintfroid, I've beaten up everybody on the ship but you. We can fight, or you can go.
Fribbit.
Since you're just a little baby in that big mechanical suit, I'm gonna call you Baby Man, Baby Man. Time out! It's time for you to learn that nobody can beat me, and... Did I just use up all my air? Ugh.
And then they meet Jarrett, and he's actually pretty cool, but we know basically nothing about the Pantherfates, and they're the alien species I most want to know the lore of. And they deliver the prince as Jarrett does what I do whenever I play a certain Fallout 3 DLC.
There. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, as if things couldn't get any crazier.
Did you just eat the baby?
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's like 90% this massive tiger guy yelling at people, but you know what? That's all you need sometimes.
Big deal.
The big deal? The big deal is cause... You tell him!
Number 3. Inferno. You know how I said that Con of Wrath might make a dumb episode really fun? This is the opposite. It's also the first normal Season 3 episode after the 2-part intro, so this is really setting up the stage. So they get the call to action when these cow aliens named Proxivores that eat rocks pop out of the ground. I actually really like their designs a lot. Oh, wait, they're not aliens, they're natural? You're telling me that there's just a natural species of subterranean cow monster that eat rocks that's evolved separately from normal life? What? Oh, that's not even it. Then Max gives us this gem.
That's where fairy tales come from. Unicorns, trolls, pixies, they're all real.
No, you can't do this, show. You can't just say that fucking pixies are real out of nowhere in Season 3 of Alien Force. This just completely breaks the lore, and yeah, I know magic was real since the classic era, but again, just constantly confirming, oh yeah, fairy tales are real, deal with it. Then to add insult to injury...
Even Bigfoot?
Don't be ridiculous. That's a guy in a suit.
It's actually funny since in Omniverse they confirmed that the Secret Saturdays, the family of cryptid researchers, are indeed canon to the universe, so Max saying this practically contradicts it. They literally fight a Yeti next series. You know, it's ironic that later we would get aliens that are also all of those things. And the kicker is, this doesn't actually matter in the episode. None of this is important, just breaks the lore for no reason. But they investigate and soon meet a mole man. You gotta be shitting me, a goddamn mole man who also speaks English. And guess what? He's also not an alien. Are you seriously telling me that there are goddamn mole people under the earth this whole time and just never got acknowledged before? They just evolved naturally too, and no one has documented them. I hate this so freaking much.
There is no escape from the fortress of the moles.
He also is an old Western prospector stereotype. God, I expect this of Omniverse, not you. How the mighty have fallen. His name is also Moldy Warp, which is an actual old name for a mole, but to me it just sounds like when a TV show wants to parody Harry Potter and use it for a Voldemort stand-in.
It's Lord Moldy Butt.
And he sticks around because... why not? Until it was revealed that Volcanus officially bought the planet Earth and is gonna terraform it to a species ideal temperature of practically molten. You know, that's not a bad idea for an episode if it wasn't, you know, here. But doesn't Ben own the planet after he defeated Vilgax in the Conqueror's Challenge? And also, isn't it like the plumber's headquarters? I don't think you can just buy this legit. Even Ben thinks he's a loser at this point.
Come on, hammered these losers last time. Is that all you got?
But then he reveals his ultimate weapon, construction equipment. But no joke, it's somehow a legit threat at this point. Ugh. Like literally, Gwen, the most powerful mage on the planet, can't stop one of these things. And guess who does? That's right, Moldy Warp defeats them. He's the real hero of the story. He did what the actual galactic heroes couldn't. Also, Kevin's car can fly now, it's never addressed after. You know what, who cares at this point? Episode done. Yeah, this episode is just so damn stupid. It breaks the world building and the plot's just a complete mess. And worst of all, it's not even interesting. This no doubt got many fans to worry about the quality of the third season, which will become much more apparent with the next few episodes.
Dares intrude on the lair of the... Ah, not you again.
Humongousaur! Humongousaur! Humongousaur!
Number 2. Simple. This is one of the most hated episodes of the franchise, and believe me, it deserves it. It's not just bad, it's insultingly bad. So, Ben gets a message from a little alien girl named Probity to stop their planet's constant warfare. Yes, Alien Force Season 3 is gonna tell a war allegory. Okay, let's not be too mean. The season did have some great serious episodes like Vendetta or Above and Beyond. Let's see where this goes.
And I've come all this way to tell you that war just isn't cool.
Oh god damn it. Was Alien Forces trying to make this a catchphrase or something?
That war just isn't cool.
Eating babies is not cool!
Killing me is not cool.
That's never gonna be a thing, so trying to make this a thing. And yeah, this war is literally over two identical sides with the only distinction that they're colored red and blue. Hey, maybe this is the true lore of Team Fortress 2. Or at least maybe where the franchise will logistically go years in the future. And if you expect a mature look at warfare, yeah, you came to the wrong episode, because these characters are nothing but over-the-top cartoons who are entirely unreasonable. As Ben, throughout the episode, struggles to try and make a peace between them. And the episode constantly flips back and forth on why they've been warring in the first place.
You've got us all wrong. They attacked us. We're only defending ourselves.
So no one can remember if he was red or blue, right?
That's what all the fighting's about.
It gives people something to blame their problems on. If there were no war, they'd blame us for all that.
Even Kevin just kind of threw away all his character development through this series and idly wants them to keep killing each other just to make money from it. Jesus Christ.
I want to be a plumber, okay?
Never met your dad.
Me either. But I still want to be like him. Don't worry. They'll be shooting at each other again in no time.
As Ben gets more and more pissed off that nothing is working, as the episode has nothing actually work out or be accomplished. The episode doesn't even bother with a conclusion, with Ben saying gonna stay until they finally make a peace till they f up and everyone forces him out. And no one learned a goddamn thing. Just a look.
Dear Mr. Ben 10, I don't have a home now. I have to work double time at the factory. And it's all your fault.
Everyone happy? Everyone feel good watching the cartoon alien superhero show? Does this make you feel happy? Now, I've heard the defenses. Well, that's the point of the episode. Ben doesn't know how to stop the war. It's a problem that's not that simple. Except that wasn't this episode, because there's not a hint of nuance in it. Everyone is unreasonable and cartoonishly over the top. Nothing about this relates to how real-world war is staged or executed. It has the same tone and execution as a goddamn Looney Tunes short. It's just a bunch of unreasonable and irrational people doing stupid things as the episode pretends it has a point. Like, there's an iota of nuance and interesting points and allegories sprinkled around.
Fortunately, our citizens must sacrifice for the war effort. I hate war too. But our neighbors keep attacking us. They attacked us. We're only defending ourselves. Who would have our children in school with blue trash?
But it's not nearly enough to sustain this episode of the point they make. The actual explanation to the conflict is that they are warring because they can't agree if their great sage was a red or a blue. And it's not applicable enough to a serious and complex case like real-life warfare. Hell, in Con of Wrath, Ben technically was able to stop a war just by intimidation. Ben tries to do the simplest, the very simplest diplomacy, and the characters flat out refuse and make it worse.
Everybody shake hands.
Haha! There! That proves it! You are with them all along!
You ruined everything. You tried to shake with your right hand. We shake with the left. Everyone knows that.
Again, this cannot work as an allegory to real warfare. Nothing got resolved because everyone was an idiot and it's never brought up again in the franchise. At least Probity kinda got a happy ending taking Kevin's ill-gotten gold, and screw it, I was gonna headcanon that she used the money to cause an economic upturn in both factions, drastically improving the quality of life, making the war pointless, as again, they have literally no need for fighting. If the episode isn't gonna give a resolution, I will. Like, God, this episode is so stupid. Everyone's an illogical idiot. It ruins so many characters. The plot's infuriating. It's a terrible allegory for whatever point they're trying to make. Nothing about the episode stands out. And worst of all, it's the episode that introduced Lodestars if it can't get any worse. In fact, this may be one of the reasons I hate him so much, because he arrived this episode at least later to make a decent Guantanamo Bay allegory episode.
See what it's like to lose your family.
They have nothing to do with this.
Neither did mine.
Absolutely terrible episode. That's the worst type of dumb. You just want to somehow strangle it. It deserves the hate, and I'm moving on. Good riddance.
I finally found something I hate more than war. You.
Now, before we get to the obvious number one, a few honorable mentions, and to get my points on episodes people would wonder aren't here. Vengeance of Vilgax and the Final Battle. I'm only mentioning these because people have problems with them, but they're not enough to make it on here. Thing is, there's nothing wrong with their plots for the most part, and it's not entirely contrived, at least to the point of being dumb or idiotic. I mean, yeah, Ben's character sucks now, and so does Vilgax, but it's hard to blame a single episode on a massive character ship run by the networks that's in the rest of the series. Like, maybe the object aliens coming to life is a little dumb and Vilgax's random new form, but not stupid enough to make the list. Ghost Town. Again, it's a little dumb here, but it's not enough. I actually like this episode a lot. It's one of my highlights of Season 3, where Ghostfree comes back and takes over Vilgax's home planet. He needs to team up with the trio to save his people. It's an interesting concept, and yeah, while it doesn't mean it's insane potential, it's pretty enjoyable. And hell, gave us one of the coolest scenes in the series of Vilgax versus the Scare. Like, hell yeah, villain fight! But there's not much egregious dumb aside from Ghostfree randomly able to assimilate people he possesses the ectoneurites, which was never a thing before and after, and it's pretty enjoyable. Secret of Chromastone. Yeah, another episode people might find dumb, but I like the concept a lot. It's a great lore addition to the franchise, and it makes Chromastone so much more interesting as an almost Jesus-like figure to the Petrosapiens. Of course, the execution is lacking and doesn't reach its potential. People hate how Tetris was written being one of the coolest characters in the show, and rightly so undermined here. But again, I don't think that random bad characterization has to make it. Like, there's a few moments of dumb, like especially this scene in Chromastone somewhat being in Dimehead, but again, not to make it. If all else fails. Not really a dumb episode at all, it's pretty good, where Max is a hybrid sleeper agent with a dozen other humans to reactivate a hybrid backup plan to destroy a nuclear plant to charge itself up to blow up the planet. It's not a bad episode by any means. In fact, I'm only going to mention a few things about it, since I never would get to say that, one, they literally climb up the monster's anus to get inside. What was this foreshadowing? And we see a handful of others get captured by the failsafe, but we never actually see them get out. So, like they're just dead and the show never acknowledges it. Be Knighted. Again, nothing much bad for this episode. It's a season 1. It's just kind of drawing for them to go, oh hey, the Knights were actually containing a giant alien dragon who's a map maker and wants to go home. And it's a bit stupid, but it works well enough to give enough nuance and development to make it work. Even if a dragon with a gun and piloting a spaceship does look freaking stupid. Though the biggest plot against it is that the plot it sets up got null and void by the season 3 rewrite, so it's entirely awkward, it doesn't go anywhere. And now, the number one dumbest episode of Ben 10 Alien Force, like you already don't know. It's Fool's Gold. Literally, what else could it be? Out of everything here, this is the one episode made to specifically spite the network and intentionally make the dumbest and worst episode they could. And yeah, it definitely gets up there. Now, it's not as bad as Simple, that was infuriatingly dumb. This one is at least entertainingly dumb, like you're amused by how idiotic it is. This episode is about poop. No joke. It's gone on record that Eugene Sun said that the network was going to kill their original storyline, then they'll have to air an episode about poop, and they have no one to blame but themselves. So the plot is about a rural town holding a popcorn festival because of a race of these gremlin-like aliens that come every spring break each 17 years to eat their popcorn. And they somehow are able to take that popcorn and poop it into solid gold. Yes, this is seriously the plot. They never actually name these aliens in the episode or after, so I just call them little shits. So, like, do they have atomic fission going on in their bowels or something that change the elements of matter? But what else? The trio gets a call to investigate a disappearance of one named Deca by his friend. Then, nothing really happens for half of it, until of course it's revealed that the mayor stole him to make him poop to get a lot of gold to pay off his unseen debt. Because where else is this plot gonna go? But they find out for Deca to randomly mutate into a huge primal monster because he ate meat. If he thinks it was built up at all, no, it comes right the hell out of nowhere.
I know you're in there. This isn't you. The meat has poisoned your mind.
As it goes on a rampage, still pooping, as now his poop is an explosive uranium radioactive compound, because of course it is.
Unstable radioactive poop?
It literally flings Kevin across a chain of it, good lord. As they say that their species ate meat once and they destroyed Mars. Like, no joke, apparently Mars was the popcorn planet until these guys destroy all life there. Are you shitting me? You wasted Mars on this stupid joke? I'm not kidding, if it's a sci-fi driven show, they never actually use Mars or Martians as a plot point. They wasted it here, come on.
My people worked themselves into extinction, converting our planet into a navigable space vessel.
Why would you do all that?
Because it's cool.
But then Deca's going to a power plant to absorb electricity where it's gonna divide and multiply into a million other giant feral monsters and... What? Okay, this makes no sense. When was this established or rational? This isn't about eating stuff and pooping it out. This is random. These aliens' abilities just randomly get introduced the second the plot needs them to. It's so bad. There's no consistency or logic. It's just constant new stupid crap as primary plot points every minute. This plot is literal Mad Libs. As it turns out they can't digest silicon as Ben turns into Echo to clone himself hundreds of times so that Deca can eat him alive and I refuse to make the obvious joke. This happens much more than it should this season. Thank God it wasn't Ditto, he'd be dead. As then they puke them out. And when we got poop, why not some puke in there too? As Deca turns back to normal and they leave and swear that they'll never come back to the planet after this. Yeah, this episode. I have never seen an episode that felt more like it was improvising as it went along than this one. Like this was written on the spot. So this episode is about a town that gets visited by aliens for like spring break, and the town actually likes them because they give them gold. Wait, they make popcorn for them to eat, and they poop gold. That's amazing. And the trio get involved because one goes missing. It turns out being held by the mayor to make gold for him. Crap, gotta think of a climax. So he gets fed something else, what makes him all big. He's carnivore, so he gets fed meat, and he turns giant and he wants to go to the power plant to gain energy because they don't multiply into like a bajillion of them. And they gotta stop him, but now he poops uranium, explosive uranium. He's about to do it, and he's about to do a thing until Ben tricks him to eat something he shouldn't. How can an alien do that? Wait, Echo clones himself, and he forces him to eat himself, and he's poisonous, and he vomits it all out. The day is saved. Brilliant. Yeah, this episode really does deserve the mantle of one of the dumbest and inane plots the series has ever done. But hey, at least it did a pretty nice moment with Gwen and Kevin, so that's something. And yeah, at least it's not as infuriatingly idiotic as simple or boring dumb like Inferno. At least it's so inane and random it keeps your attention. Actually, wait, what if the proxy force pooped gold instead? That would actually make sense if they're subterranean rock eaters. It could be a twist on the whole cow manure thing. That would have been better. But yeah, it's just a juvenile and absurd plot. Like, it's literally about aliens pooping, and it really signaled the direction Alien Force was going and the complete downfall of the third season. So ironic that this early beginning episode with the season literally goes to shit and wins the award of the dumbest Ben 10 Alien Force episode.
I don't get it.
Like make a number 2?
Really? That was the whole joke?
And yeah, again, bad does not equal dumb. In my previous video on the topic covering the dumbest episodes of Classic, a lot of episodes that were dumb were really fun at least, and not bad by any means, or a lot just kind of okay. But yeah, unfortunately it depends on how you write it. Classic already didn't take itself too seriously, so when episodes got silly, it usually wasn't too jarring, and they mostly made them fun enough that it's still a good time. But when Alien Force gets a reputation for being very well written and serious, when it fails to live up to its own reputation, it stands out a lot more. Now again, there are plenty of dumb episodes in this series that are still great, like Con of Wrath. Okay, it's a fan favorite for a reason. But unfortunately, a lot of the time, the dumbest feels more of a result of ineptitude and bad writing than something that's at least enjoyable most of the time. Again, comparison of the dumber episodes of the Classic compared to the dumber episodes of this list, and it's night and day for the most part. It does really suck to highlight how much Alien Force really fell in its 3rd season, and how bad executive meddling can really hurt the show. Again, Fool's Gold literally just exists because of it. But it does make you appreciate the series more when it was at its peak, because those first 2 seasons were really great. I mean, they weren't perfect or anything and had a few bad eggs, but they make arguably the best story arc in the franchise. You see what happens when executive meddling goes too far and ruins a creator's vision. But hey, at least at the end of the day, they're relatively harmless, and at least they're somewhat enjoyable how dumb, inane, and unexplained they are. And hell, you can have some fun with a few of these. Well, at least I'm one more series done. Still gotta wait for the day when I'll eventually do Ultimate Alien. Oh yeah, I got an Omnitrix now. If you want an explanation, this show taught me that I don't need a good explanation for how things happen, so just accept it. Until next time, it's hero time.
Everybody look at this book I found about eating babies. You just sit there while you eat them. I don't know, but I'm going to go eat one right now.
Hello, this is Mole Man in the morning. Good Mole Man to you.